Namaste. Welcome, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. Today is unusual broadcast. I'm just here for fun. I have been carefully going through many of my Tarot de Marseille decks and looking at them through different lenses. And today I'm going to share with you a full side-by-side of the new choice, Tarot de Marseille. This is the second edition of the deck. The edges are rose gold, just like on the front of the box here. I don't know if you can see. This is a queer deck. It's by Rosario Salerno. And the link to their website is down below. And I am a fan of Uzi decks. There is something kind of special. My all-time favorite is the Pagan Otherworlds deck. And when I saw that they had a Marseille deck, I just had to investigate. I didn't realize it was as quite as bawdy as it is. So this is I believe it's dubbed a burlesque deck. I have not purchased the extra guidebook for this one. It's actually kind of fun, and I just want to, I will put a warning up on the screen. So there is nudity and general shenanigans going on in these decks. So if that's not something you want to see, this will likely not be the side-by-side for you. Yeah. So welcome, Dee and Aria. For those of you that haven't seen this face before, hello. My name is Sadhana, and I am a reader of tarot and have been for a long time, much more than 25 years now, and just really love this medium for helping others to dive into their self-reflections. And yeah, sometimes a sense of humor is needed for sure. And I would say that the New Choice Tarot de Marseille is not intended as a sense of humor. It's a deck of a particular culture. And I also want to honor that culture. And I have a few queer decks in my library, and they have been instrumental in making connections with some of my clients. So I really appreciate the education I get with some of these decks. So yeah, so let's get to the cards, because that's why you are here. I will, I'm just going to make a small adjustment because the banner is in the way. I will go through the majors first, and then the minors, and then the court cards. And the color. So the color is a little bit more intense in reality. I've got quite a bit of light coming in here. I did try to color correct a bit. So should be okay. So the deck on the left is, the keywords are in English. Deck on the right, they are in French. And you'll see that when we get to strength and justice, it is in the Waite Smith order deck on the left, but I have changed the order of the cards to go in the Tarot de Marseille order. So, so yeah, so let's have some fun and look at these cards and just have a good old chat. So welcome. The evening crowns the day in the UK. Oh, beautiful. So yes, you will also see smoking, all kinds of funky paraphernalia, and probably just as well I don't zoom in any closer. The Eros deck is the same card stock as the Pagan Otherworlds. So it shuffles beautifully. This is also this is a high quality production. This is a probably a 350 GSM Shuffles beautifully, aren't those backs gorgeous? Some of the women in the deck on the right are very young and very thin and very beautiful. And yet there is a wide range of faces that are presented. So we have the Popes and La Papesse. And you'll notice that facings, all kinds of things have, especially the deck on the left, have been changed to incorporate a sense of humor. And I imagine, so she has her right hand on her chin, and I think she's contemplating just dipping behind the curtain. And oh, this is so funny. On the, oh my goodness, can you see this? It says Eros, and this is position 69 that is on the scroll. So it is a very irreverent deck. You might, okay, and I will. I want to show you the Emperor and the Empress side by side for both of these decks, so we can have a good look at that. Let's just do this and this, so you can see. They both have the right, the parts of the flower straight toward them, and even the hen and the cock look like they're ready to intermingle. I think it's fun to look at the pairs. And, you know, it's funny when I look at this particular Empress, it looks like she is kind of saying, he's looking a little forward. And notice his number 4 leg. Hello, Perry. Welcome. Thank you for all your lovely comments. His number 4 shaped leg looks like he's ready. He's ready for action. And what is he doing with his right hand? I don't know if we can see it. Oh no. It's out front in a gesture. So I have a question for you. I haven't used Eros ever in a reading. And I wonder what would be the occasion where you would do a reading with a deck such as this? What would you imagine? And it's really quite something. I mean, in using the new choice Tarot de Marseille, there have been some kind of deep things that have come through. Yeah, the Pope is blessing his acolytes. I didn't see that one hand. But like I said, I haven't actually read with Eros. Okay, so here is La Justice. And it is number 11 in the deck on the left. And This is so funny. This hermit is quite something. The way this fabric on a very special wedding night. That's funny. This particular hermit, I really like this card. I feel like I've seen this guy before. I was in a ashram in India, a very small ashram, and the head of the place, he took his hair down, and he had the dreadlocks. He was, gosh, I don't know how old he was, maybe 60. And he unwound his dreadlocks, and his dreadlocks went all the way down to the floor, sort of like a wedding train, and beyond his feet. He was probably 6 feet something tall. And he had on actually kind of multi-layered clothes like this as well, too. And so I also offer this because you don't get to see all these cards. And I've never seen a walkthrough of Eros Garden of Love. So here we go. Hi, Lydian. Oh, thank you. And Love Force. What is truly beautiful in the deck on the right is especially the coins. The coins are just stunning. I don't sit very often at my tarot table and do this just for myself. So sometimes when I do this, it is as much for me, and I just sort of contemplate um, in a way that I might be a little more rushed if I were doing it by myself. I think the card on the left is so funny, the way she's squeezing the last drop of wine out of the wine bottle. And yet in a very, very laid back death. That's funny, Dee. um, in a very odd way, much of the symbolism is there. And I'm looking at this temperance card. I'm seeing, in the temperance card in the Rider-Waite-Smith, that path and that sun is on the other side. And I'm just thinking there's a lot of, not only for a sense of humor, but other reversals in this deck. Le Diable. The colors in New Choice are just quite something. We all have many different choices and sensitivities to our own unique expression and interests. The process of finding the right fit. And I think sometimes that process of the right fit, sometimes that process is finding the right fit with certain clients as well too. If you're doing readings for others and getting to know people in new ways. I rarely use the same deck twice with the same person. I try to mix that up. And then sometimes a client will come in and they will have their own deck and they want me to do the reading with their deck. And I've done that before, but I usually do quite a quick reading and then I will do another reading with another deck. Unless, of course, they're actually looking for a tutorial with their deck or something like that. And then the last major in the Marseille order anyway is the Fool. So, yeah, kind of funny. Kind of funny. All right, let's have a look at some of the beautiful colors and more irreverency with this body deck here. When we did the discussion of the minors, so you might want to go back and when we were covering these cards. And there really is something about the Ace of Wands being both the receptive and the active symbol, both the masculine and the feminine symbol. And I think particularly in the deck on the left, you really get a feel for that. So we have tassels instead of flowers. And if you don't have the New Choice Tarot de Marseille, there are different flowers. And the creator does comment on their choice of flowers in the New Choice. There are no numbers on Eros. There is, however, a little signature down in the bottom left corner, so you know if the card is right way up or upside down. I think it would be worthwhile to take some time to read the floral notes on the deck, on the new choice, because they are intentional, and I haven't done that, so I need to put that on my list of things to do. And it's really interesting the way the flora comes and goes in this deck, and much like in the Tarot de Marseille, that deck, for example, there's so much that you can read into um, the background of the symbols, or what goes in between the wands or the cups. It's almost like it makes a statement unto itself. And you might expect that there would be no flora in the 10 because it would be completely consumed, burnt out. But there's a harmony present in that card. So I think that invites a different kind of conversation. Suit of Cups. This really is a pretty card in most Tarot de Marseille. And odd choice for a title card. But this is the title card that's part of the deck in Three of Cups, not the Four of Pentacles. Or the Two of Pentacles. And I'm sure if you have the little book, the Usi book for the Eros Garden of Love deck, it would also probably have floral notes. Sounds like I'm talking about a wine. The floral notes. I've really become more and more fascinated with the shape and the arrangements of the items in the cards as I'm trying to make sense of my cartomancy series, and maybe even more understand more about the history of playing cards, whether there is a path between the cards or there is a block between the cards, this sort of thing. And there's something really special about that seventh cup. It's featured, it's highlighted, it's being, I don't know, there's just something there that feels really important. I love the way you can read the movement of the flowers, or the arrangement of the flowers, or the little nuances of the pips in the Marseille decks. And yes, I'm fully aware these are not traditional Tarot de Marseille. These are contemporary, Marseille inspired. All right. I will just put my warning back on in case anybody is just joining us now. More phallic symbols. And yet the Seven of Swords in the new choice is just, it's just beautiful. It looks like a party. So this is a really interesting difference in some Tarot de Marseille, and not just Tarot de Marseille, but tarot decks in general, is the choice of sword up versus sword down. And both of these decks, I believe, yeah, they are going the way that the creator intended. I disagree. The new choice is extremely traditional. Only the colors are softer and the people are contemporary, but the design and meanings are very old. I have noticed that in some of the cards of the new choice, there is a blend of type 1 Marseille. Sorry, some of the cards are type 1, some of the cards are type 2. So there is definitely a respect for old tradition. So my comment mostly about these decks being Marseille inspired has to do with the purists. And there is a group of Tarot de Marseille, or what should I say? The opinion of some readers is that the contemporary versions, anything that has been made, any contemporary decks, we can't call Tarot de Marseille. We have to call them inspired. So, but yes, it is. Not only is it a gorgeous deck, but it also does hold true to older cards. And the final suit, and then we'll look at the court cards. So the colors in the Eros are actually quite, they are also soft and quite muted, actually. That's a good question, Perry. If you, Perry, if you Google perfect number, there, it's so interesting to look at the number 7, and mathematically, it is a perfect number. These are really pretty. It looks like the snake is chasing the turtle or something like that. And, it's funny because of the books that I've been reading lately, I'm starting to see the 5 in a more expanded light. And looking, some of the cartomancers call this a crossroads card. And there's some beautiful stories about the number 5 in older cartomancy books. It's so funny because I know people that don't like these cards, right? They don't like Tarot de Marseille. They don't understand why pip cards could give us so much information. And one of my joys in going back and looking at these cards is just getting mesmerized with all the little details. And I could spend a lot of time looking at these, especially the coins. I'm very, very fond of the coins cards in most Tarot de Marseille decks. One of the books that I'm reading was talking about the 9, and this is in terms of playing card interpretation. And the 9 here also has a pebble in the middle of the road. But this is like the final challenge. And there's so many things we can see here. We can see a 4 and a 4 with something in the center, and we can look at the symbology of the 4 and the 4. It's like the next building block. And it's really interesting how some people see this as the final number, not the 10. And I'm starting to appreciate these on, I don't know how to say, like, yes, all of the floral and the things that wind in and out are really important. The arrangement of the objects on the page seem to be very alive to me right now. Okay. And then the quartz. All right, so we start with the Valet de Béton. Hmm. It's funny, I don't have too many decks anymore that have uh, what I would call um, irreverent court cards. But I'm thinking what came to mind was, do you remember the court cards in the Housewives Tarot, the quirky books Housewives Tarot? That was a really, those are really funny court cards. Do you remember our discussion about the way that the cup was held? And if you look at the card on the right, this Cavalier de Coupe is holding the cup in the traditional way. And it's the one on the left is so funny. It's like he's about to fall off his horse and lose his cup, but this guy is grasping onto his cup. Whereas in the traditional cards, it's always kind of carried, perched upon the hand. Yeah, Housewives is a hoot. Look at the expression on the eyes of the Page of Swords. It's quite funny. That's funny, Dee. Yes. Whether you're talking about the perfect number seven, the Tarot de Marseille, the tarot in general, it is enormous warren. And the final four court cards. I wasn't really paying attention to the age thing, but I think most of the courts in the Eros are more mature. Yeah, worried about his bits. And the Knight of Coins has consumed too many carbohydrates, it looks like. Oh. I would really like to don this costume. All that lovely fabric. Gosh, I love fabric. So there you have it. the king, le roi de denier. Yeah, you're funny, Dee. I feel sorry for his horse. So, yeah. All right. I have barely put a toe. Yes, it is it's a wonderful journey, and honestly, the only way to get it is to play with the cards and look at the cards and use the cards. And um, I think one of the best things is just to pick a deck and work with it for 3 months at least. Hmm. Oh, both of them. I think they're gorgeous. I mean, I pref I mean, this is very heavy woven fabric, but it would be fun to put it on. And this is more like, I imagine, maybe lots of chiffon, maybe some satin. It would feel very different, right? Different kinds of fabric. But yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Two more decks. Two more decks down. I've got quite a few side by sides planned. And I don't know if I can fit it in between class on Saturday morning and my usual 12 o'clock chat. It's just really a rushed time. So I may do more of these on occasional Sundays. Okay. All right. Take good care of yourselves and thanks for hanging out with me. Bye for now. Namaste.